This is TW Battles doing online commentary for Napoleon Total War. I am playing the Ottomans and my opponent is Spain. Let's take a look at my army here. Some Azars, Sipahi cavalry, Shaternal camel gunners, 2 units of Palestinian auxiliaries, howitzers, 2 units of Belgic Janik musketeers, 2 units of Chamet janissaries. There's my general's bodyguard. There's 2 more units of those musketeers, some more Azars, an 18-pounder foot artillery, Delhi horsemen, Sipahi cavalry, Salater guard, and Azars. Let's take a look at my opponent. 6-pounder horse artillery, light infantry, dragoons, hussars, about 4 units of fusiliers. They look very hot in these uniforms. I will be getting a heat bonus by fighting on this map with the Ottomans, and of course Spain will be at a disadvantage. 2 units of grenadiers. These big guys are going to be sweating it out. Some Walloon guards. I have not yet seen this unit. They may be part of the new patch. Some light infantry. Some hussars. 2 units of 12-pounder foot artillery. Some lanceros, coraceros españoles, and the general staff. Now quickly here, you see I am trying to form a line up here on this ridge. This one unit of Palestinian auxiliaries is having an issue getting around those rocks right there. It's more of a pathfinding issue. You can see there that my other unit of Palestinian auxiliaries is taking some artillery fire there, but a lot of those guys are getting up. They're a tough bunch. You see here I'm trying to get my men up on this ridge to give myself a height advantage and to get established there before the Spanish army can get there. I did a pretty good job of rushing my guys forward and getting them there to meet the Spanish charge. There's a dragoons unit, and they are going to come right for the side of my Azars. You can see on my extreme left flank, one of my Azars unit is being routed by the hussars unit. And once I see that, I'm going to move my Salater guard and my Delhi horsemen, and I'm going to go ahead and attack those hussars and try and annihilate them while they're vulnerable. And I'm also doing that to protect my flank. You see here the Spanish have a lot of units in this particular area, so I did run my Chamet janissaries units over here to help my Azars, and they're strictly a melee unit. They fight with swords, which is pretty archaic, Napoleonic era, but they are going to do a very good job on this wing, as you will see. I definitely hung them back from the rest of my army and then waited to see where I was going to need some help, and once I saw I needed help on my left there, that's when I ran them over. Okay, you can see my Janissary musketeers have a very good position up on this ridge. Nice oasis there. Looks like those guys probably want to jump in that thing and cool off. And these are the guys with the pathfinding issue who had to make their way around that rock, and you can see they're routing. By the time they got in position, they were probably about half strength, and they were absolutely decimated by the Spanish hussar cavalry. I'm going to spin my guys around a little bit to meet this threat of the cavalry and see if they can get a few shots off. My auxiliaries unit did do a pretty good job of taking out close to 50 or 1/3 strength of those horses, so hopefully my my other unit there can weaken them enough to get them to rout. My Palestinian auxiliaries are getting some good shots off on these Walloon guards, and that's part of the height advantage there. They weren't able to get shots off until they were able to get into better positions, so that worked out well for me. My Chamet janissaries, 2 units of them, are fighting the Spanish cavalry there, and you can see my 2 units of cavalry here are attacking the Spanish hussars unit, and they are very close to routing. And once they do rout, I'm going to go ahead and swing my cavalry unit around to help on my left flank here, because I am being overwhelmed. Okay, you can see if you look at the strength numbers on that little bar on the bottom left, you can see I am losing this battle right now. they're winning on my left flank, and I'm holding my own on my right flank here, but they are attacking very effectively, the Spanish, and I'm doing what I can to adjust to their aggressiveness. Right there, I'm running my cavalry unit back towards the Spanish artillery. They are doing some damage to my units, so I would like to take them out as soon as possible. One of these units, also on my other wing, I'm going to rush it towards their 6-pounder horse artillery, and I'm going to take the other unit and swing them back over here to attack this light infantry from behind. I want to start kind of holding my own on my left, but then squeezing in as well, because I do see with my cavalry on that wing I do have an advantage. Okay, you can see my Palestinian auxiliaries there, and a melee with 2 Spanish units. And here is my Sipahi cavalry. They're very cool looking. They have an overhead spear type of motion to their attack, but they're going to go ahead and attack these 2 units of artillery, while we saw my other unit of cavalry, my Delhi horsemen, are attacking on the other wing. So I'm effectively taking out pretty early in the battle all 3 units of my opponent's artillery, and this is going to signify a turning point in the battle. There they are, my Salater guard. I was able to take out that artillery unit, and some of my Delhi horsemen are coming in here, and you see here I was able to get that cavalry unit to rout, and that freed up 3 of my units. So I'm going to go ahead and start rolling these guys towards the middle and pinching them in and rolling up the flank of the Spanish army. By winning on my left, I am able to roll up the whole length of the Spanish army. We'll see how that works out. Now, I am losing on my right and my right center, but I have just enough units on my right here to hold the Spanish army and keep them at bay and to keep their guys occupied over here while I roll up on their other flank. So my Chaternal camel gunners are in the mix. You can see my Palestinian auxiliaries just routed. There's another unit just routing. Bringing some of my musketeers over. I am winning in the center, and I'm winning on my left. So you can see the way I'm kind of steamrolling the Spanish army across the battlefield. And this is my Sipahi cavalry finally just finishing off those artillery units. Let's fast forward a little bit here. You can see these Walloon guards have a succinct advantage up on that ridge. But again, this is my right and my right center, and I'm just fighting for my life here, trying to keep these Spanish units occupied until my guys can sweep in from the other side of the battlefield. But so far, my guys have had a pretty heroic effort, and they're holding their own. I have trained my artillery also on this area because I do want to make sure that I can hold on to my right flank there. So you can see how I've just steamrolled the left of the Spanish army and their center, and I'm going to start concentrating on these little pockets of white right here and rolling my units over. My Sipahi cavalry is finally freed up from that artillery, and I'm going to get them into the mix here. And you can see how that numbers bar on the bottom left is shifted. I'm the blue and the Spanish are the red, and you can see now that I have more troops on the battlefield right now, and this bar is going to continue to swing in my favor because of the way I'm aggressively attacking them across the battlefield here. You can see I have some nice lines. I have some depth of lines. I have lines backing up lines on this particular part of the map. I decided to rush my cavalry into the general staff there. I thought that could be a decisive blow in this battle if I was able to kill the enemy general, but I will continue to put pressure on that general staff unit with my cavalry so that I can strike that decisive blow. See the awesome melee fight here with some of my cavalry, some of my infantry units getting involved, and with the Spanish Grenadiers, who are an excellent melee unit. Okay, you can see the general staff trying to get away there in the background for the Spanish. I'm going to rush my cavalry after them and not let that happen. And you can see here my musketeers have come back from routing, and I'm going to try and hold them off just enough so that I can switch my howitzers over to canister and get some shots off at this cavalry. So at this point I'm decisively winning this battle, but I still want to do whatever I can to protect my artillery back there. So I'm going to try and keep that cavalry unit occupied and weaken them little by little. And see if I can protect my artillery back there. You can see I'm going to kind of sandwich these Walloon Guards unit here from three sides. And there's my Sweltering Guard going after that general staff in the background. And right after that, I was able to kill the enemy general, and my steamroller continued from my left, and pretty decisive victory. I hope you enjoyed this battle.